So I have a hexagon here. I'll just darken the hexagonal. This is bottom face. So this is that hexagon. Now, when you keep a frustum on HP, the top view, you can see two hexagon, one inside the other. X axis will be seen as a point. So I have to draw a hexagon inside this. This hexagon is of size. This side is 40 mm, he says. And inside this, I have to draw a hexagon of side 25 mm. I'll do it like this. I'll join these two corners. This also with thin line. And this also. I'll draw all the diagonals. The center now. Now, I have to draw a hexagon inside this with a side of 25 mm. So you keep this edge parallel to the base edge and slide this and observe where, when you slide, observe where it becomes distance 25 here. Distance between these two should be 25. 24, 25. Somewhere here. Yeah. 3 here. 13, 23, 24, 25. I'm drawing the 25 mm side here. See this line and this line, those are the boundary, and you have to make mark 25 mm here. It is very easy when you draw it using drafter, but it may be little difficult here for measurement. But anyway, you draw it approximately 25 mm. You can just use arc method now because already lines are present. You can use this 25 mm radius on all these edges you cut. You get the points. See, one point is here, 2, 3, 4. So I got the hexagon inside. This type of construction you might have done in ISO development, but still I am showing it. But this sketch is required now because without this sketch you cannot proceed. You should know what is the enclosure size. Now my job is to fit the hexagon here, for which I have to use this base hexagon. So I'll use the similar construction what I have done for pentagon. First I have to mark this rectangle. I'll take the isometric view of the rectangle. Isometric length for the rectangle is so much. This much. I'll transfer it here. And other side. And get the ISO length for that. This much. Here. And draw parallel lines through those points. One parallel line here, another parallel line here. So I got the rectangle. Now I have to fit all these points. So I have to take this distance here, isometric, get the isometric length and mark it. I'll draw it approximately now. And same distance I can transfer from the other end also. I get the point here. And same distance from here, if you do, get the point here. Same distance if I do from this side, I'll get the point. So I got the 4 points. And this point is at the center. You go to ISO scale, get the ISO length from here, you mark. From here also you mark. So I got all the 6 points. Join them to complete the hexagon. This is the bottom face I have drawn. Now I have to find out the center of this face and get the height because it's a frustum of a prism. So I'll join these two lines, corners, and opposite these two also. So I get the center, and from the center I should measure vertical 80 mm. So I'll first draw the vertical line. A vertical line I have drawn. It is this much. So it's here. So I get the 80 mm mark here or here. So I'll mark it here. This is the height of the frustum, 80 mm. So ISO 80 I'm getting. So at this point, I should draw another hexagon of this size. So again, there are many methods. I'll show you one method. I can enclose this hexagon inside a box first by drawing these two vertical lines and these two horizontal lines. I enclose it inside a box. Now this box we have to construct first at this point. In order to construct the box, first we need to know what is the axis. You have to draw the axis first. I'll draw a parallel line to x-axis first, like this, and another parallel line to y-axis through this. I got the parallel lines. Now on the parallel line, see this is one of the axis, this is another axis. So if I draw a vertical line here, this much distance I should transfer here, isometric of that. If I draw this, and this distance should be transferred along this. So take this ISO length onto ISO scale, get the ISO length for that, and that length you transfer it here. Let us say it comes here. On the other side also you get the same point. And this much distance ISO you get and mark it here and on the other side also. And through these 2 points you draw parallel lines to the axis. One of the line here and other line here. And see, that is what is this line. This line is drawn here. And on that line again, this much distance you take isometric of this much distance here and get the isometric distance here transferred on either side of this. Similarly, on this side also it is here. So this much distance which is equal to this same distance you transfer here and transfer it on the other side. You get these 2 points. So we got 2 points here, third point here, fourth, fifth, sixth, all 6 points we got. We can join them to complete. So I'll just approximately draw it. It is not to the scale. You may get it like this. This is how you get the top face. And when you join this corner to the bottom corner like this, you get the frustum completely. Join this to this, join this to this, join this to this, join this to this. Those are the visible lines, and there will be 2 more edges which are not visible. Now this is the frustum of hexagonal pyramid. This should be 25 mm. Now on top of this there is a sphere. So for drawing sphere, first we should locate the center of the sphere by taking ISO of the radius of the sphere. Radius of the sphere is 20 mm. So take ISO 20 here. ISO 20, you take this much and mark it here. That is the center of the sphere. So this is the center of the sphere, and this as center. Now you have to take the actual radius and draw the circle. That becomes the sphere. So actual radius is 20. I'll take 20 mm radius and draw the circle here. I got the circle. Now circle is the topmost solid, or sphere is the topmost solid, so you have to darken it. So darken the circle like this. Once spherical surface is visible, only this portion of the top face is visible here, and here also this is visible, and this and these edges of the top face are visible, and these edges are also visible. Can show these edges visible, and 2 more edges are inside this, one here, and bottom edges in the front, they are also visible. So this is how you need to complete this problem. show you in 3D. This is how they are oriented. When two hemispheres are in space, it is seen like this. Individually, if you construct isometric views, it will be like this. And if you place the top hemisphere on bottom hemisphere, it looks like this. So this is what you need to construct now. You can observe that there are two solids and both are hemispheres, and hemispheres are placed such that the flat circular face is facing upward. Bottommost solid is a hemisphere of diameter 80 mm, and on top of that there is another hemisphere of diameter 60 mm. The spherical surface is at the bottom. We cannot create the spherical surface as it is. So initially we start constructing the top face, which will be an ellipse in isometric projection, and after constructing the top face of the bottom solid, we construct the spherical surface. So let me construct the ellipse first. I know that the diameter is 80 mm, so I need to construct the box of diameter ISO 80 mm diameter. It is here. This is ISO 80, and construct a box for that. So ISO 80 this side and ISO 80 this side. This is the box inside which I have to fit the ellipse. We know that 4-center method of constructing ellipse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 mm. I'll construct. This is for finding the midpoint of the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. At 4, I'll draw a vertical line. This is at 40. Construct the midpoint here. One midpoint here, the other midpoint here. Draw the major diagonal parallelogram line. Then draw this line. Now you have got 4 centers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Using those 4 centers, you have to construct the ellipse. First, I'll use this center and this radius. Draw this arc, and this as center here from this point to this point, and this as center. We'll draw this arc and the same radius and draw this arc. So I got the bottom ellipse. Now this is the top face of the bottom solid. Now I have to construct the spherical surface. Spherical surface is constructed using actual radius. Actual radius is 40 mm here. So if I take 40 mm, just observe what happens if I take actual 40. So 40 mm I have taken. If I start at the center here, let us mark the center first by joining these two. So I got the center. If I use that as center and draw a 40 mm arc, you can see there is a gap here. The arc what I draw here and the ellipse will have a gap. Actually they are supposed to be tangent. The gap that we get here is because of the error involved in construction of 4-center method ellipse. So you cannot draw the spherical surface like this. So what we have to do is, we have to take whatever distance we get here from this point to the end of the ellipse, so that as a radius we have to draw the arc. This is actually we are compromising with the accuracy of the ellipse, but this is the way we need to adjust and get the spherical surface. Now on this hemisphere we have to place one more hemisphere of diameter 60 mm. From this point to go to the center of the top face, you should take ISO 30 because radius of the hemisphere is 30 there. So ISO 30 you have to find out first. 30 is here. ISO 30 on the vertical axis. You can see, you will get it there here. So you got the top face center here. So there you have to draw two axes. This is one of the axes. This is the second axis. Now this has center. Now I have to fit an ellipse, for which I need a isometric box of 60 length. So I need to use ISO 30 on all sides. ISO 30 is this much. This is ISO 30. I need to cut ISO 30 here, here, here and here. There are 4 points now. Don't directly join. You have to draw parallel lines. So this is the first parallel line. Second parallel line should be drawn through this point. Through this point. Fourth should be drawn through this point. So I got a box there. Now I can construct ellipse inside that. So I have to join this major diagonal first. Then get the midpoint. Already midpoints are here. You just draw these lines. And this line. Now you got 4 centers. Draw the ellipse. So first center is here. Ellipse. So one of the arc. Second arc here. Third arc here. And the fourth arc here. Now, as I explained for this hemisphere, here also you need to take this much radius. This much radius. And draw an arc till this point. Now you completed both the hemispheres. Now starting from the top face, you darken the visible lines. So this part of the arc is visible. This entire ellipse is visible. So darken this ellipse. And this arc is visible. And the top face of the bottom hemisphere, only this much will be visible. In the front portion, this portion of the ellipse is visible till here, and this arc is also visible. This is the problem of hemisphere on hemisphere, question number 6. This is how it can be visualized. Hexagonal prism is placed horizontally and cylinder can be placed at the center of the hexagonal face. It looks like this. So this is what you need to construct now. There are two solids. The bottommost solid is hexagonal prism, and on top of it there is a cylinder, and you should also make sure that cylinder is placed on the rectangular face of the hexagonal prism. That means we have to model the prism horizontally so that rectangular face comes on the top, and at the center of the top rectangular face you can place the cylinder vertically. So I have constructed hexagon here because when we want to construct a hexagon in isometric, we need to draw the actual size of the hexagon, true shape, and enclose it inside a box, and for the box we have to construct the isometric. So I think this sheet may not be sufficient for this. You can also reduce the scale to 50% or something if you want to use. I'll try to use the actual scale and see how it fits. I have drawn the hexagon. I'll enclose it inside a box. So I enclosed inside a box. Now I'll use these distances. First I'll take this much distance, this distance onto true scale to measure the corresponding ISO length. ISO length, I'll mark it on this axis. ISO of this much length, I have to mark it on a vertical axis because I want the prism to be horizontally placed. So I will draw a vertical line here first, the Z axis of isometric. Go to ISO scale to measure the corresponding ISO length. And this is ISO length, I have to mark it on the vertical axis. From this point, first I'll mark these points. I'll take it to ISO scale, get the isometric length, mark it here so that I get the midpoint. Same distance can be obtained here also. I got 2 points of the hexagon. Next, this distance, this much distance, take it to ISO scale, and draw it here. 1 point here, other point from this point, one from this point, and one from this point. Because this is equal to this, this is equal to this, this is equal to this. So I can use the same length to mark all the points. Now I got all the 6 points of the hexagon. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the hexagonal face of the prism. Length of the hexagonal prism is 70 mm. So we have to use 70 mm ISO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 70 is here, this point, and draw a vertical line there. Yeah, ISO 70 is here. Let us draw all the y-axis lines from all these points. One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. So on all these lines I have to mark now ISO 70. ISO 70 is here, so much. So ISO 70 I'll mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I got the 6 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is the other end face of the hexagonal prism. Now on top of this solid, I have to place a cylinder of diameter 50 mm and height 50 mm, which will be placed at the center of the rectangular face. Now this is the rectangular face which is on top now. This is the rectangular face. At the center of this face, I should place a cylinder like this vertically, for which I need to find the center of this face first. So let us join the opposite corners to get the center. So one of the line is here and other line is this line. So I got the center here. This is the center of the top face. So there I should construct the ellipse now of diameter 50, for which I need axis. So I need to draw two parallel lines there to get the axis. One of the line will be parallel to this edge. So this is one of the axis, and other will be parallel to this edge. So these are the two axes I have drawn. ISO 50 is total length. Half of that is ISO 25. So 10, 20, 25 is here. This much is ISO 25. Have to take that ISO 25 on all the sides. 1 here, 2, 3 and 4. Now we have to draw parallel lines passing through those points. See, this is already drawn. This line is already passing through that point. This line is also already passing through that point. Two more lines remaining is one has to pass through this point, other one has to pass through this point. So it should be parallel to this axis. I will draw line here and a line here. Now I have to fit an ellipse inside this. We know the procedure for fitting the ellipse. You have to draw the major diagonal first. Major diagonal is drawn. Then to the midpoint you have to join. Midpoint is here itself. This is a midpoint, and another midpoint is here. This. Now draw the arcs. First arc will be from here. One of the arc I have drawn here, and other arc should be drawn from this point like this, and third arc should be drawn from the point here. This is the third arc. Fourth arc should be drawn from this point. So ellipse is constructed. Now I have to give the height for this. Height is ISO 50. So ISO 50 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ISO 50 should be measured here. This is ISO 50, this much, for which I need to draw vertical lines first from all the corners. One, two, 3, 4. Now I think space is not sufficient. That is why I told you, if you can draw it little below, I think the space is sufficient. You have to plan it initially, or you can reduce the scale. 50% reduction if you do, you can properly fit inside the page. Now I'll take ISO 50. Have to measure it. One point here. This point is going out. Anyway, I'll leave that point. This point will come here. This point will be here. I can mark the top face points now. This. I just try to draw parallel lines to complete this. Like this. Now you have to fit an ellipse inside this. What you can do is, you already have 4 centers here. You can give the 50 mm height for all those 4 points to get the centers of the top face. I'll try to do that. You can construct the diagonal and just draw a vertical line from these points. So one of the point is here. I'll draw a vertical line from there. Wherever it meets the diagonal, that is the new point. This is another point. Yeah. Now you will get the same distance for that arc also. I will draw an arc here. So that arc is going out. And one more arc will be here. This point to this point. And an arc here. And another arc here. Like this. So you get an ellipse here. Like this. Join these lines from this point to this point. You draw a line, and from this point to this point you draw a line. Then only it becomes a complete cylinder. So cylinder is placed vertically on the rectangular face of the hexagonal prism. Now start darkening the visible edges. This portion of the ellipse is visible. This is the top face of the cylinder, and this vertical edge is visible. This vertical edge is also visible, and front portion of the ellipse, bottom face of the cylinder, that is also visible, like this. And this is the top face of the prism, which is rectangle, but this edge is visible only till here. Remaining portion will be covered by the cylinder. Similarly, this edge is visible only till here. Only this much is visible, but here this edge is completely visible, and this edge is also completely visible. This much, only this much is seen in the top face of the prism, and obviously this has to be visible, this has to be visible, this line has to be visible, this is a visible edge, and this is another line which is visible, this is an edge which is visible, this should be visible, and this face completely it is visible because it is in the front. But remember, we need lot of space above this line, so you better shift it little down when you are actually drawing this case. And this you try to construct in a separate page, that is better, because you cannot fit inside one sheet. Or you reduce the scale to 50% and write the scale as 1:2 and complete the problem. The two views of the object, front view and side view, are given in the sketch. We have to imagine the solid and we have to construct the isometric for this. Just see, it is like this. In 3D, that object is like this. See, this is how the side view look, and this is how the front view it is. Cylindrical face seen as rectangle in the front view. This is the isometric view. That this is question number 23D. So this is the side view, this is the front view. And if you analyze these two views, for this portion, he says it is diameter. That means it must be a cylindrical face. So when you look into the solid in this direction, it looks like a circle. So this is a side view for this portion. So it is actually a cylindrical portion. And this vertical object, it's a rectangle of size 60 by 30. And in the side view also, it is a rectangle of 60 by 30. Then that means you should visualize it as a square prism. Bottom face is a square. That is why it is 30 here, 30 here also. And height of the prism is 60 mm. So it's a square prism. So it's a combination of cylinder here and a square prism on the other side. So if we start from the bottom face is a square face of 30 by 30. So construct the bottommost square 30 by 30, give the height of 60, you can complete this prism. And on the side face of this prism, you have to construct the cylinder. First we'll mark ISO 30, draw vertical line from 30. This is ISO 30, draw it here, draw it here, draw parallel lines. So bottom face is constructed, and give the height for this. We'll give height. First we'll draw a vertical line from all these points. Observe that since it is a square face, the vertical line from this point will pass through this point. If you get a separate line there, that means there is some accuracy problem in your solution. Now the height of this is 60 mm. So we'll mark 60 here, 40, 50, 60, and draw a vertical line there. This is ISO 60, should be drawn on this axis. Height 2, from this point 3, from this point 4. So join those 4 points now to get the top face of the prism. Yeah, one of the solid which is square prism, it is constructed. Now cylinder has to come here. Then only when you see like this, cylinder looks like a rectangle. When you see like this, it looks like a circle. So cylinder has to be constructed here, in this direction. In order to construct the cylinder like this, we need to construct an ellipse here first. So to construct ellipse here, we need to find out the center of this face first. We'll draw these two lines to get the center of the face. This line and this line. So we got the center here. This is the center of the vertical face here. So there I need to draw two axes. One of the axes should be parallel to this. This one. And other one should be parallel to vertical. This is the second axis. Now I know that cylinder diameter is 30 mm. So I have to distribute 15 mm this side, 15 mm this side, 15 mm on vertical and 15 mm on another side of the vertical line. But it should be ISO 15. So ISO 15 I need to mark here. ISO 15 will come somewhere here and draw a vertical line there. Vertical line, and get the ISO 15 distance here and mark it on either side. So automatically it should come on this point itself, and here also it should be this point, and vertically I need to get this point and a point here. Now draw the parallel lines passing through those points. Already this line is there, this line is also there, this line and this line is required. So I'll draw those lines. So one of the line will be drawn here and other parallel line should be from this point. So this is the box inside which I need to fit an ellipse now. This is on YZ plane. Now in order to fit an ellipse here, major diagonal is this line, the line joining these two corners. Major diagonal is this, and I have to draw two lines for the midpoint of this corner like this to this midpoint like this. Now I got 4 centers using which I can draw the ellipse. So one of the center is this point, and this should be the radius now. See, I am using this as radius, and drawing an arc here. One of the arc I have drawn. Other should be from this corner with the same radius. This is the arc. And third should be from this point. And this should be the radius. And this is the arc. And fourth arc should be from this point. And this is how you get the arc. This is the face of the cylinder, which is ellipse. Now I have to give the height for the cylinder like this in this direction along the x-axis, for which I need to draw parallel lines to x-axis. So this is my alignment with x-axis. We'll draw parallel lines here. One from this corner, second one from this corner, third one, and from this corner already there. So I have drawn all these lines. Now I'll take the length of the cylinder, which is 60 mm. So ISO 60 is already marked here. So I'll take that much ISO 60. I'll start marking 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I got 4 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will join them. Yeah. Now this is the box that is replicated here. Now inside this also I need to fit an ellipse here. So in order to do that, I have to draw this major diagonal first and draw parallel lines from the same centers. One center here, one center here. So I'll draw the lines. Yeah, from here I am drawing. Wherever it meets the major diagonal, that becomes one of the center for drawing arcs. This is another line I am drawing. I got the same radius I have to use because it is also of the same circle. One of the arc I drawn here. Next arc will be this from this point. And third arc will be from this corner. This is the arc. And fourth arc will be from this corner. Now draw the tangents. See, you have to keep the scale and draw tangents now. It will be at these 2 points only. So draw one line here, draw another line here, then only it completes the cylinder. So you see, this is the face which is visible, this is the lateral face of the cylinder, and this is another face which is not visible. You have to show the visible lines now. We'll start from this face. This circle, ellipse has to be visible completely. This has to be visible completely. And these 2 lines, one line here till this, another line here till here, and this portion of the ellipse should be visible, and inside which it should not be visible, only this portion should be visible like this. And in this prism, top face is obviously visible, which is a square face like this, and vertical edge will be visible only till here. Just observe, the cylindrical face will cover the other portion of the vertical, so it will not be seen. And this vertical edge will be seen throughout till here, and this edge will be visible only till the cylinder, this portion, and this portion, since it is not covered, it will be visible. So this completes the problem. Now observe, when you see like this in this direction, only this circular face is visible, that is this circle, and this face, vertical face, will be seen as a rectangle. But when you see in this direction for the front view, This cylindrical surface will be seen as a rectangle and this face will be seen here. That is how we have to interpret this side view and front view as a 3D model.